bright beauty. Every student matters.
Hi students, welcome to the session. In this session, we are going to talk about the microscopic organisms and the reproduction which they undergo. Now, in the multicellular organisms, we have already seen that the reproduction is in the sexual form, that is, they undergo sexual reproduction. Whereas, there are certain kinds of microscopic organisms which undergo asexual reproduction. In plants also, we saw that there were certain types of asexual reproduction which were budding and fragmentation and so on. In the same way, in animals also, there are certain organisms that are microscopic in nature which undergo the asexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, there is no formation of gametes. That means only one parent is involved and formation of gametes does not take place. Does not takes place. Right? So, that is that the male and the female reproductive parts are not involved, male gamete is not formed, female gamete is not formed, only a single parent is responsible for this kind of reproduction. To understand this in a better way, we are going to perform an activity, and this is an activity which you can perform in your schools and your teachers will help you in this. It's a very simple activity. What you have to do is you have to observe a permanent slide of hydra, and you can observe them using a hand lens or a microscope. What you have to observe in that is any kind of bulges that might be seen in the parent body. And after looking at the bulges, what you have to do is, first of all, you have to count the number of bulges that are there. Then what you have to count is, what you have to see is, you have to note down the size of the bulges, right? Also draw the diagram of hydra as you are able to see. So this organism which you are able to see, student, is an hydra. And over here you can see a parent hydra. This is a parent hydra. And over here you can see the offspring, right? And as you can see over here, if you look, over here if you observe, you will find that this smaller hydra, that is the offspring, is attached to the parent hydra. How does this happen? Let's understand. So this is a unique way in which the animals like hydra, they reproduce. This process is called as the budding. Right? So what happens in this process is that when a hydra is matured, you will see that there is a formation of a bulge. This bulge is called as the bud. Right? So this bulge keeps on developing like this, and slowly the development takes place in such a way that there is a fully formed hydra along with the tentacles. Over here you can see this is the beginning of a bud. It is small in size, then it increases, and right over here you can see the beginning of the formation of tentacles. Then further development takes place. As you remember, we had seen in this particular slide where the hydra or the offspring was still attached to the parent body. Similar is the case over here also. It is still attached to the parent body. Once the development is complete, the parent body gets detached, the offspring gets detached from the parent body and a new organism is formed. This kind of process where the reproduction takes place because of the bud formation is known as budding, right? So the process where this kind of reproduction takes place, where you will find the formation of bud, and it is as you can see happening with the help of a single parent. There is no other parent involved in this case. This type of reproduction where only single parent is involved is called as asexual reproduction, and the reproduction where the bud formation takes place is called as budding. Another example was in the case when we were studying asexual reproduction in plants, where yeast was also showing the reproduction, that is the asexual reproduction, through the process called as the budding, right? Now, let's move on to another single-celled organism called as the amoeba. We have already studied about the cell structure of the amoeba. We've seen that it is a unicellular organism. Also, we have talked about the different way in which the amoeba locomotes, eats, and so on. Now what we are going to talk about is how does amoeba reproduce. Now when the parent amoeba reaches a particular stage, what happens is that it starts to elongate. First of all, the elongation of nucleus takes place, as you can see in this particular diagram. With the elongation of nucleus, the development of groove also begins. That is, the cytoplasm also starts elongating and there is a development of the groove. Then the groove deepens, and how it deepens is that the nucleus is divided. Once the nucleus divides completely, then this groove deepens like this, and the division of the cytoplasm also takes place. But still at this stage you can see the cell membrane is still attached to one another. Then once the whole development of the daughter cells takes place, they separate and there is the formation of two daughter cells from a single parent, right? So you can see that how the division, that is the binary fission, takes place. Now why is it called as the binary fission? Because the parent amoeba splits or breaks into two daughter cells. That is binary fission. Binary means two and fission means to split, right? Now how is it different from budding? As you can see in budding, the parent cell, the parent organism was still present after the offspring was formed. But in the case of binary fission, you will see that only daughter cells are there, because the parent cell itself, that is the parent amoeba, has itself divided completely to form these two daughter cells, right? Because there are formation of two daughter cells, that's why it is called as the binary fission, right? So in this way, we've seen that there are two ways. One is budding, another is binary fission, through which the asexual reproduction takes place. Apart from that, there are various other methods also through which the asexual reproduction takes place in animals. About that, you will be able to study in your higher classes. Up till now, it is important for you to understand both of these methods. Also remember, students, the diagrams of both of these methods are quite important. That is the budding in Hydra and the binary fission in amoeba, right? Now,